so today I am going to go through 5 tips to help you guys build a minimal wardrobe. I've been really into minimalism lately simply because I've had to move over 5 times in the past 6 months. Maybe I'll do a video another time on talking about that. But in any case, I've had to keep my personal belongings to the bare minimum. So minimalism has kind of entered into my life, not even out of choice. I just had to do it. I've had to keep my belongings to a bare minimum, and I've noticed that my just a lot of things have improved in my life because of it. So I just wanted to share 5 tips to kind of help you guys build a minimal wardrobe. Great, so before we get into the tips, I'll just talk a little bit about what minimalist fashion is. Minimalist fashion is really about promoting the things that give you joy and happiness and kind of minimizing all the other things that distract from it. So it's about just keeping the things that really actually give us joy. So a t-shirt that you actually really like instead of 5 shirts that you're kind of iffy about, I would say. And you know what, despite the fact that when you go into a store and people are always promoting to buy more and more and more stuff, the fashion industry is promoting this idea of minimalism as well. I think the likes of Vivienne Westwood and even Rick Owens have been quoted as saying things like, buy less stuff and choose well. And I think Rick Owens said something along the lines of, buy less stuff and go to the gym. So minimalism is sort of a trend that's kind of even seeped into the fashion industry, which I think is pretty cool. Great, so now let's get into the tips. Great, so tip number 1 is take stock of your wardrobe. It's really, really important to take stock of what you own, and basically it'll help you identify what you need in terms of your wardrobe. One app that really helps me stay organized to do this is an app called Snups. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. A lot of YouTubers have been talking about it lately, but Snups is a more organized version of Instagram where you can basically organize your photos into things called shelves. I really like it because I can organize everything I own into my phone. So I've made shelves for my denim, my jackets, my sweaters, and my t-shirts. So when I go out shopping, I have a really good idea of everything that I own, and I don't end up buying 2 of the same thing. So a funny story is that I ended up realizing after kind of digitizing my wardrobe onto that app, is that I own 5 of the same long gray sweater, and I think it's just one of the things that happens to you where you end up going shopping somewhere and you're oh, this is cute, and you kind of forget that you own 2 of the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So this app is really helpful to kind of keep track of what you own so you don't end up wasting a lot of money. Another really big perk about this app, which I really like and I haven't gotten into yet but I might start doing, is that it allows you to automatically sell all of your items onto eBay, which I think is a big perk. It can help you make a little bit of extra money on the side, as well as kind of share and digitize your wardrobe in a really social way. Great, so tip number 2 is to define what your personal style is. I think a lot of people probably don't know what their style is, because a lot of times we don't really take the time to kind of really think about what we like and what we don't. But if you end up really figuring out those things, like what you like and what you don't, you are going to have the advantage of basically going out and shopping, and when all the retailers are telling you to buy this one trend, you're going to know if you like it or not, and if it'll actually really make you happy. So when everybody ends up wearing street fashion or whatever, if you know for a fact that your style isn't really that, you end up not buying those things, and basically all of those commercials, all of those billboards, all of those retail mannequins will not be able to convince you to buy those things, and then you end up saving money and you end up making a better decision on what you end up buying. So what really helps me to define my personal style is to make mood boards. So sometimes I'll use Tumblr or I'll use Instagram and Pinterest just to kind of gather images of things that I like and what I don't, and I like to really think why do I like this, why do I not, and then you end up kind of getting a sense of the fashion you like and the fashion you don't, and then you end up feeling a little bit more empowered when you go into a store environment, I would say. So yeah, that is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is actually my all-time favorite tip to kind of help you build a minimal wardrobe, and it's to actually list the activities you do the most in a week. So write it out. What's your week filled with? Are you just chilling out on Netflix? Are you working? Are you going to school? Do you hang out at cafes a lot? Do you go to the gym? Do you go hiking? if you list those activities out, it'll really help you figure out what your lifestyle is, and it'll help you when you end up buying something to figure out if it fits your lifestyle or not. To tip number 4, which is to categorize your clothing into your activity list. Basically, if you're able to put your clothing into all the categories and figure out, like, okay, when I go to work, I end up wearing this jacket a lot, and I end up wearing this jacket also to the gym, and also when I go out, then you realize that that jacket was actually a really good purchase and it fits your lifestyle a lot. So basically, when you go shopping, you have a list of activities, you have an idea of what you do during the week, and then you can kind of ask yourself the question, like, will that item fit into at least 3 of those activities that I do in a week? And if it doesn't, just walk away. Just walk away and don't buy that extra jacket or pair of pants or jeans or whatever, because if it doesn't fit the activities you do in a week, you end up not wearing it, right? Snups is actually a really good app to help you with this too, because what I've done is that I created shelves for all my activities. So my activities were work, the gym, and basically cafes, I would say. I spent most of my time in a week in those 3 categories. So basically, I put all the pieces of clothing into each of those activity shelves, and basically when I go shopping or not, I figure out if it will actually fit my activity list, if that makes sense at all. So it's also a really good tip to kind of use that app in that way, because you can understand if it fits your lifestyle or not. Alright, so tip number 5 is to identify holes in your wardrobe. Basically, this tip is really great because once you take stock of everything you own, you identify the things that you end up really needing. So when you go shopping, you actually have a purpose for the things that you buy, instead of ending up buying something that you don't need. And by that, I mean not to buy another, like a thick, like gray sweater or whatever, right? So basically, once you kind of have a visual idea of all the things you own and your lifestyle, next time you go shopping, you basically have an idea of some things that you might need. So for example, in my case, I realized that I only really have 2 gym outfits, and I go to the gym like 4 to 5 times a week. So that's something that I could use more of. I could use another gym shirt or something, maybe a gym shirt that I could also maybe wear to work or clubbing, maybe something if it was really simple, that whole athleisure trend or whatever, like a basic Nike shirt I could probably pick up, and then I could wear probably to work, to the gym, and maybe even to like a coffee shop or whatever, and it fits my style, so that could be something that I end up buying if I end up going to a shop or whatever. So that pretty much wraps it up. Those are my 5 tips to kind of help you build a minimal wardrobe. I hope you guys like this video. It's my first time kind of doing like a tips kind of series. Let me know if you like it. Leave a comment below if minimalism kind of appeals to you, or if you have any questions about it. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You guys can also check me out on Instagram and Snapchat. I upload really frequently on there, and I try to reply and interact with you guys as much as I can. Also, finally, check out a link below so you can download the Snups app, and you can also find a link of my own bio there. And you can check out a list of all of my clothing pieces and leave me a wow or a comment, and just see how I have organized all of my shelves. Yeah, so I'll catch you guys next time.